Alrighty. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Afro Matt Show. This is episode number 135. We are, today is the 17th of September. And we are sipping on, this is from Aldi's. It's called Ashwood Hard Root Beer. So, a little bit of alcohol to get us started. And I wanted to start off with a sad story. Like, not necessarily, and my face is red. If you're watching on the YouTube, I did get sunburned. I went out and played tennis, and I got really raw. That being said, I want to start off with a story. I was literally in Goodwill the other day, and there was a kid. I got really depressed when I saw this. There was a kid, probably 7, like old enough to walk, old enough to talk, old enough to shop, but he was in the cart, not in the little seat that most carts have where they put the legs in. He was in the cart, like as an item, and his neck just straight down, staring at his phone like this, and he was just, at first I saw him, he was just scrolling on TikToks, and God help us. I honestly, at this point, I hope that there's a God. I pray to a deity, whatever deity there is, if there is one, that there is a God, because we need it. We need it bad. Because God help this kid's For You page. He's just watching like cake slice content. And I'm not saying that this kid's a representative of all kids, but I'm saying he's not the only one, right? And then, so after a little bit, I've been shopping there for like 30 minutes, and then I hear these dings, and these dings are coming constantly, and they're so piercing that you can hear it from across the. It's one of those, and he's watching this YouTube video, one of these Mr. Beast. I don't know if it is Mr. Beast, but they're screaming. They're like yelling, "We're going to do this today. Oh my gosh." You know? And then they've got like a girl with them, and I can hear the girl, and she's like, "Oh, Michael." And I can obviously tell that she's hot. Like, they have this hot girl. I don't know if it's like David Dobrik or something, but like, it's just piercing. And I'm trying to shop. I'm looking through the books for old books, and I just hear this from across literally from the other side, the shoe rack from the other side of the Goodwill. I hear this like every 30 seconds. And it's like the only there was actually another sound that played. It's this crickets. Like, anytime they would play this, anytime one of the guys in the crew made like a joke and no one heard it or no one laughed or anything. So I was reading books. I was reading the back of books to these two noises constantly. I'm like, dude, these. It made me what made me sad is that Mr. Beast is to blame. Mr. Beast has. He hasn't cracked the algorithm. He's cracked fundamentally our DNA. I think like the purest. I think he's found the purest form of dopamine to, like, from content on YouTube to your brain. Like, he knows exactly when to cut. He's done all this studying, and he is the Antichrist. He is Mr. Beast for a reason. And these dings are strategically placed. They get you back in the second someone's about to click off the video, like 2 seconds beforehand, like you right now. It gets them back engaged. It wakes them back up. These little kids, these YouTubers have to have a constant re-engage, and that's why they're always doing these cuts and these slams and these giant texts that scroll across, because people can't understand English as it's being spoken. They have to also read it in huge text, and it flashes like one word at a time. Today we are going to do this. It's flashing huge, and you know what I'm talking about, because these people do it constantly. And every now and then, I'm going to do it this podcast just to keep you engaged. Just every now and then. Every now and then, we're going to get a little ding. Get a little ding in there. You know, I don't know. It's something to do with the way our brains work. It's something. And then every now and then, when I do a joke that doesn't land, just the cricket sound effect. And those were the two. If you know the YouTuber that I'm talking about, please let me know, because I want to showcase his YouTube video, because that is what it probably has 200 million views, and it's only kids watching this. Only kids. It's crazy. It is crazy. And it's like, it's melting their brain. I guarantee you it's melting their brains. Like liquefying their brains. Like literally their brains are becoming like shriveling up like a grape. Like the only way that you'll be able to be able to teach children in the future is if every 5 minutes there's a little ding there's one of these from the teacher. The teacher plays one of these to keep the kids re-engaged. The teachers are going to have to start making Mr. Beast style content. Today we're going to do mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. Whoever can, solve this equation will get one free ticket for recess. And then, play that every time a kid gets a right answer, and just stimulate them in every way that they're constantly stimulated. It's such a sick world. We're so shot. I was talking with my dad the other day. I said, we're so shot. We're just shot. It's over. It really is. And I don't mean over in like the world's ending. I just mean like, I think that's beyond the point of like repair, where the constant content being like force fed, drilled into our skull with like a freaking, just a drill bit screwing directly into your freaking whatever gland gives you that pleasure, just constantly being tapped by everything. It's just it can't be good. Is what I'm saying. It can't be good. It's to the point where it's like I don't know what culture it was, but they were like maybe it was like the French culture. I think it was like the French aristocracy. At one point, they lived in such luxury that they were becoming so fat and like full that they became like depressed and started killing themselves or something. Like that's what's going to happen. Our brains are so full of happiness, fake, constant little triggers, that we're so full and bloated that we are killing. Like people are literally killing themselves now more than ever. But that's just, I wanted to start off because I was following this kid around, in just shock. I'm like, and the grandma, I don't know, it may have been his grandma, it may have been his mom. And she may have been 20 and actually just smoked constantly. She looked like 75, but she could have been 40 and just a smoker, right? And God, that kid probably has fetal alcohol syndrome, whatever. But I'm not saying the kid was destined for great things. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying part of the problem, part of the blame has to be onto the parents. Because if you just give your kid, like I see at Chili's nowadays, they're like almost guaranteed, there's a kid with one of those giant foam iPads, like an iPad covered in like, the case is just a giant block of foam because they're throwing it, I guess, all the time. but they have this giant block of like foam, and they have the iPad just propped up, and these kids, they do, anytime it starts with them, it's just the iPad is the only way to cure them. And I don't know where that comes from. It's got to be like Coco Melon or something that they're doing in preschool. They're just playing preschool, like, just like, oh, Coco Melon. Yeah, and God save us from Coco Melon. I mean, listen to one of these Coco Melon videos. Coco Melon, by the way, is probably the largest producer. Coco Melon. It has its own candy line. It has its own freaking breakfast cereal. It has its own dolls. Here's a Coco Melon video. And this video it came out 1 day ago, and it has 2.5 million views, just to put that into perspective. Yeah, and here's these little noises. I'm sure these tickle every little inch of my brain, to a science. These people, it's almost, I guarantee you, it's almost PSYOP level, CIA level psychological experiments. They've played audio to 1,000 people and asked them which audio they like the best, and they've only used that audio. Like, these things are workshopped until they are crystallized, crystal meth content. In Breaking Bad, when he holds up the crystal, he's like, holy shit, Mr. White, this crystal's like 2 inches long. He's like, yeah, I just figured out how to do the crystallization process or whatever. That's this. This is blue crystal meth for kids, and the kids are just on it all the time. I guarantee you, drive to a Chili's right now with no intention of eating. Just walk in, do a lap, go to the bathroom or something, come back out, count the amount of children staring at an iPad. Guarantee you it's more than one, which is actually kind of probably on the low side of things. It's probably almost every kid. It might as well be an iPad factory. I do believe that this is a CIA operation. This Coco Melon is got to be a CIA operation. Humpty Dumpty grocery store. And they have a $1 billion budget. I guarantee you, Coco Melon has a budget per episode twice of an Avatar. Every episode is 3 times as much of a budget than an Avatar film. And this is the content that they're putting out. This looks like it was made on MS Paint. So this is what's happening. So anytime that anyone complains, what's happening to our youth? Why does my kid only have a 3-second attention span? Hey, I literally wonder why. It's because you didn't want to spank your kid. Well, first off, you didn't want to spank your kid because the CPA would be called to your house. But second of all, you didn't want to freaking talk. God forbid you talk to your kid harshly. God forbid you say, Marcus, to whatever, put that damn down. Put that damn thing down. Stop touching things in the aisle. That's what my mom used to do. She used to do this. Matt, put that down. And she would do that. Where you talk without opening your mouth, clenching your teeth. I remember that. Matthew, not really anger. There's no threat of violence. It's just it's this. You need to tell your kid, put the damn iPad down. Put the iPad down. If I ever ran as president, I would ban iPads in anyone's hands that are less than 8 years old. No. I'll call CPA on you you should be able to call CPA on people who babysit their kids with an iPad. This is the problem with our generation. It truly is. I don't even know what's going to happen to the generation after my generation, like I kind of don't know if they'll be capable of forming a complete thought. Like, seriously. Like, I think that their train of, you know, their attention span will be so short that they literally will not be able to follow their own thought to where it to a conclusion. They won't be able to ride that train. They won't be able to daydream, because the second that they reach any sort of like complicated question or moral truth or maybe a hard truth about themselves, maybe they realize, maybe I do talk about myself too much. Like that one time when, and then they open up TikTok, right? Like you can't, like, I don't even know what the next generation of kids, I think they might all just be functionally retarded. Like, and this is one of the times when I'm using retarded in the actual like the dictionary definition, like what it used to be. Like, these people might have like less than 80 IQ. Like we might be loading up the bottom of the IQ by just you are like playing CoComelon from your kid. You should get the death penalty. I don't see it any other way. If you put CoComelon on, you should receive the death penalty. That's just where I stand. And that's what I would run on as president. Matt, 2024, if you put CoComelon on for your kid, you will receive the death penalty. There will be almost no trial. We'll look at your YouTube history. If it was played, you're going to jail. And you're going to be hung, most likely hung, or electrocuted. Honestly, they should just do death by CoComelon. They just strap your eyes open like what's that? A Clockwork Orange, and they just force you to watch CoComelon until you starve to death. Like, I truly don't know how to get across how horrible the content is. Let's go to YouTube right now. So we're on YouTube. Let's go to YouTube right now. And I told you I'm going to keep on doing that so you guys realize how fucking annoying it is. So let's go to YouTube right now. So we're on YouTube, the home page here. Actually, let's open this should we open this in like an incognito tab so it doesn't know? Because there's like a bunch of Magic the Gathering shit on here. Okay, let's open it on Google Chrome, incognito. All right, here we go. This is an incognito in Chrome. I don't even use Chrome, so this has no background information. This is what YouTube looks like, a fresh page of YouTube. The very first video, $1 versus a $100 million car, Mr. Beast. This has 57 million views in the first day. It is number 2 trending globally on YouTube. Here we go. And here's Mr. Beast screaming.
Massive cars in the world. No joke, we got our hands on over $250 million worth of cars. One of them even costing $100 million. And we're gonna be exploding, sailing, driving, and even flying all of these cars to show you why they're so expensive. Starting with this $1 car. Literally a rust bucket. Why are you selling this car for $1? Well,
okay. I mean, you get the idea, right? You get the idea. They make it hard to click away. They literally, it's their job. So, like, when you make a YouTube video, this isn't what I do. Because when I make a YouTube, I just press play and I talk. Right, that's what I do. But these people, their jobs is to trick you into staying on for the most amount of time possible. Let's see what other videos we have going on here. Let's see the most trending, the trending tab. Trending. Okay, of course. Here we go. $1 versus $1 million. I built a
Today I'm
$25,000.
building my dog a $25,000 dream dog house with things like a pool, elevator, and so much more. Because today is his birthday and he needs an upgrade. This is my dog Roger, and ever since I got him, he has been my absolute best friend. And he makes me the happiest person alive. But first,
Oh my God. Don't worry, buddy.
Okay, I mean, it truly is mind numbing. It truly. I mean, man, we're so shot. We are an ill country, a deeply sick and twisted country. It's twisted what we do to ourselves. We do it to ourselves because we want it so bad. We want it so bad. We do it to ourselves. We want that juicy content. And I promise this video isn't all. I mean, the podcast wasn't even planned to be. I don't plan anything in the podcast really, but. I mean, I just wanted to talk about that. It's just crazy. The kid was literally just face down, and this kid's gonna grow a second head out of the back of his neck. We're gonna mutate to have that giant lump, that lump from looking down all the time. Let's see. All right, let's move on to the news. I kind of went on a massive tangent there. The news. Imagine one of these days when I actually do this and it's like the news is I played this song. The news. 514 million people have died in 15 nuke locations spread across the United States. If you are listening to this, you are one of the lucky few to have not died. You know, that imagine this podcast just becomes that. Like talking. Yeah. Outside my window right now I see the fog growing in the air, the column of smoke. That is a mushroom cloud billowing down. Ash begins to rain is beginning to rain down on me and pile up. That being said, let's continue right into the news here. And I don't know where the cricket one is. Oh, here's a billionaire talking about Tim Gurner, the founder and CEO of Gurner Group, talks about the state of the economy. And thankfully, and this is what I hate so much about when people do this, when they talk about the economy, no one says how to do to fix it, but he finally tells us in pretty blunt terms what we can do, what you and I can do to fix it. Right? So here we go. Let's listen to Mr. Tim Gurner.
We have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. You know, tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. You know, they have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, and we need to see that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it, but people are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
I mean, that's nice. That is so nice. I love this, and this guy should not be killed publicly.
I think the problem that we've had is
he shouldn't. It's not something that should happen, and it's not something I'm calling for. And if it happens, I would be sad, right? But and of course, I'm by killed, I mean in Minecraft and in GTA and whatever, That guy's obviously evil is what I'm trying to say. That might be the most evil thing that you can say. Hey guys, economy's doing good. Too many people, you know why my company went down? Too many of these people want too much damn money. You guys got to realize, and now I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, brokey. I'm talking to you, person, wage slave. You wage slave. I'm talking to you. You think your company's lucky to have you? You're a number. You'll be replaced in an instant. In maybe less than an instant. You might be actually replaced by someone who's already there. Like almost instantly. Just like stand up, move your stuff. Like to the left. You know, like step to the left. Step to the left. It needs to go down. Unemployment needs to actually rise. He said 40 to 50%. I'm thinking 70 to 80%. AI needs to start replacing these jobs, and money needs to start compiling infinitely, because that's what our whole economy is based off of, is infinite growth year over year. It's so bad that it's not even about year over year anymore. It's about quarter over quarter. It's about quarter over last quarter. It's almost to the point where it will be a daily discussion how much you've made over the last day. It might be that bad. Like, I guarantee you Walmart has a tracking system to determine if they are plus or minus for the hour. I guarantee you. It's happening somewhere. Some sort of giant computing software. They have some sort of like sub-0 degree Kelvin mega computer compiling every purchase every second from every Walmart and tracking their profit per second. It's happening. It's happening there. They have these processors that they can function at like 3 billion times faster at when they're like frozen. They have these like frozen supercomputers. Guarantee you Walmart has one of those. Guarantee you Amazon has one of those. Guarantee you Tesla has one of those. Compiling information about their growth per the second. They'll be able to look at a number anytime and just tell if they're up or down, right? Shareholder walks in, looks at the number, decides to leave or stay. It's like the information. That is the iPad kid. The iPad kid is just everyone. And maybe this is why I hate it, because it's us. It's because it's me. It's because it's you. It's because we are that iPad kid. I see myself in the iPad kid. I've stared at TikTok for more than an hour. You think I'm crazy? I know I stare at iPad. We are the iPad kids. It's bad. It's bad out there, folks. But what I can say is that it's funny. That's what I can say. That this guy going on a public forum and saying all this is pretty funny. Is it not? It's pretty good. It's a good bit. Him going up there and saying there needs to be pain in the economy. People need to lose their jobs. That's awesome. That's awesome that a CEO of a business said that. And his employees probably saw this video and they're like, gulp. They said, they said that. Why is my boss up there saying there needs to be pain in the economy? They turn over to their wife. They're like, yeah, I'm sorry, I might not have a job. Why? And then he just plays a video. He holds up a video of his boss literally saying there needs to be pain in the economy. Tim Gurner. And this is something Tim Gurner's saying, but I guarantee you it's he's not some genius who came up with this.
Yeah, we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity.
And this guy looks like such a douchebag too.
Back on productivity, they have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years.
We're paying these people too much. There's too many people being paid. We're paying too many people too much money.
We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer.
We need to remind people. We need essentially what he's saying is, I'm the boss, you're useless. I'm the main character, and you are an NPC, right? We've got to remind people that to know their place and not to attack Mazda, right? They're essentially what he's saying, and I'll boil this down for you. It might be crass. He says, you got to spend a day in the boiler. That's what he's saying. If you ever seen Django Unchained, that's what he's saying. Right? You gotta spend a day in the hot box. It's what we gotta do, guys. We're all wage slaves out here. And I'm not saying we compare at all to actual slaves, but you get what I'm saying. We're spending time in the hot box soon. And he's gonna put us there. That's what Mazda's saying. That's what he's saying. That's what look. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying any of this. I'm translating for him. I'm translating. I'm a translator. Don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger here. I'm a translator. I'm putting it in layman's terms. We are laymen. Laymen. Here's a fun video.
Sometimes I'm able to do a lot of research before going to a place, and sometimes I have to just wing it. Here's what I know. Every year, this town, Honiton, in southwest England.
So this is fun. This is a town in England where they have a fun festival that this guy's out at, where the rich people throw boiling hot pennies at poor people, which is fun. That's a fun gathering.
Burn their fingers.
I like how that's where I skipped to.
When
This is the 47th anniversary of the Hot Pennies Committee.
Believe it or not, for 46 years, and this is my 47th Honiton Hot Pennies. When Honiton was granted a Royal Charter, they held a fair. And of course, they wanted people to come into the town to make it a success. But quite a lot of those people hadn't paid their landlords their rent. So it was decided that they would give an amnesty during Fair Week. And whilst the glove was hoisted, no man will be arrested.
No man shall be arrested.
No man shall be arrested for not paying their rent. How many of these people in this crowd right now do you think actually haven't paid their rent, though? I guarantee you it's not zero. I guarantee you there's someone there who actually is there because they want that penny badly. They want it bad. They want that penny bad.
I've only just thought to bring something to catch the pennies, and it's far too late. Like there's people with upside down umbrellas, there's kids with buckets, and I wish me luck.
Honiton is famous as one of the staging points on the Exeter to London road, and there were more pubs on Honiton High Street than most towns have.
Great.
There were wealthy people who lived in the town and who stayed in the inns, and they used to take delight in throwing out hot pennies and watching the serfs, I suppose, burn their fingers.
This is fun. And you know what this is? This guy right here, this is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast loves throwing hot pennies. Hot pennies get hot views.
Here we go.
Hey, hot pennies! Bloody hell. Damn, those pennies been boiling.
Whoa!
There they go. There they go. Catch.
Ah! Ow! I did not.
Jesus, look at those kids
I took
scramble.
my eye off the pennies for a moment.
It's 802
Yeah, that's
years
fun.
this year. We think there would have been a few breaks over the years for World War, whatever. For years, it's run on nothing because all the pennies are collected in jars in the pubs. And we do throw out hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of pennies.
All the pubs would have a large bottle or a can or a
That's
tray.
fun. It's the
and people would
pubs
put
giving
their-
back to the community for drinking so damn much. I couldn't imagine a more English celebration. Christ almighty. You buy a beer, you put a penny in, and then you get a chance to get that penny back. And then they're throwing away thousands of pennies. That's awesome. That's awesome. So many people drink there. All right, here's another fun news video.
To make it all the way to the same corner of Hancock and Ali after they have her across the street off the hospital property. The security.
Oh, wait.
Disturbing scenes on our streets, triggering calls to the wave troubleshooters alleging patient dumping by local hospitals.
So when I saw this news headline, it said that they were dumping off old people outside of a hospital, like outside of the hospital grounds? First off, first question, what did those old people do to deserve that? Because you know it, I know it, old people can be a lot sometimes. And sometimes you do want to wheel them out in their wheelchair. God knows they can't fight back. Just dump them off on some corner. So I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and see what did they do to deserve this. I guarantee you, someone being dumped on the side of the road, it wouldn't be, I'll tell you this much, it wouldn't be because Big Pharma wants that space for a new person to sell new drugs to, a new customer. No. It's because the old person is annoying and a bitch. That's what it is.
This story begins December 1st at 5 p.m. with a phone call to our newsroom from a horrified University Hospital employee claiming security had just wheeled a woman all the way.
So if you're listening right now, there is a video of a woman who's been dumped off, still in hospital gown, with a bag of her belongings. She is on the street, dumped off on a curb, with looks like maybe her jacket draped over her head.
Way out to the corner of Hancock and Ali, just off hospital property, dumped the elderly woman out of the wheelchair on the sidewalk and left. Minutes later, we shot video of her, still in a soiled hospital gown and slippers, breathing hard under a blanket placed over her in 36-degree weather, her stuff in a bag next to her.
We questioned. When questioned, the hospital said, they asked us to put her there. She said, it's so hot in here. Can't you bring me somewhere cold? So we said, hey, do you want to go outside? And she said, yes. And we kept on going, and we dumped her on the side because that's what she wanted.
The employee claimed she sees this a lot. So I started watching, and on December 16th at 7 p.m., 35 degrees outside, I record 3 security guards surrounding an elderly woman with a walker, slowly escorting her out of the emergency room. She can't move fast. It takes several minutes to make it all the way to the same corner of Hancock.
So one of these people is not just a security guard. That person has police tattooed, printed onto the back of their shirt. So this is an example of a good police officer. One of those awesome police officers that is not instantly killing this old black lady.
Hancock and Ali, after they have her across the street off the hospital property, the security guards turn around and go back. When they clear, I catch up to her, and she says she can't breathe.
They told me that I couldn't stay on the premises. Amen.
Were you in there as a patient?
Well, I needed to be a patient because I'm sick.
What's wrong with you?
I've got COPD. I got diabetes.
So they wouldn't even treat you?
The doctor talked to me for 1 minute.
The diabetes
and they
killed
told
me,
you
I'm
what?
not gonna lie.
That I had to leave.
What reason did he give you?
He didn't give me a reason.
She tells me she's homeless.
I've got to go because I'm hurting. I'm in pain.
So this, you know what this tells us? This tells us that the hospital doesn't want, if you don't have insurance, if you're homeless and you're sick, fix it yourself. Don't you have drugs for that shit? You've got all the same drugs we have. And this is awesome. This is what I would say if I worked in a hospital and I was a doctor, I'd say, if a homeless person came in, you literally use all the same drugs that we have here. Go fix it yourself. And then I would ask the police to please escort this lady out of the premises, get her out of here, tell her to shoot fentanyl, and get her the fuck out of my office. There's people that have actual insurance that I can get paid from. Get her out of here. It's just like a realtor. Being and I know this for a fact, a realtor works on commission, yes. A doctor doesn't. A doctor works off of salary. Now, where does a large part of their salary come from? Drum roll, please. It is sales. They are salesmen of science. They are the salesmen of science. They sell drugs to old people and the ill sometimes without them even knowing. It might be, look, doctors are so mistrusted. Tim Dillon made a very good point about this. It's the only job that they are so, you can barely trust them. You make them make an oath to not hurt people. The Hippocratic Oath to not hurt people. That's how much you can trust doctors. They have to literally, you have to force them by law to make an oath not to hurt people. As a doctor, is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? Hey, doctor, I know that there's a lot of money to be made here, but you've made an oath not to hurt these people. Oh, shit. That's a doctor? Oh, fuck. I forgot all about that oath. I've been giving all these people OxyContin, and I forgot about my oath. Shit. I hope that this doesn't come back to bite me with massive amount of fentanyl out on the streets in 4 to 5 years. Fuck. That's... I mean... Let's move along. I'm not going to go into a whole big pharma rant, the big pharma shtick. But I am big. I'm a big fan of dumping the homeless people on the street. Insiders reveal major problems at lab-grown meat startup Upside Foods. So you might remember a couple weeks ago we went over Upside Foods. They made the news because they're the first meat approved for making chicken that was going to start to show up in restaurants in California. Turns out 2 days ago, Insider revealed a couple problems in the lab-grown meat. Oopsie daisy. No more bugs for you. $1 billion cultivated meat start. So this is if you didn't catch that episode, this is a company that makes, they are the first company that grow meat from nothing. They are 3D printing sheets of meat. Literally, the chicken comes out on a giant sheet, and then they stamp it in the shape of a wing or a whatever, probably, and it goes, and it's chicken meat. It is actual chicken meat because it's grown, cultured from a real chicken cell that's duplicated somehow. So it has like the chicken tendons and stuff like that. It's just, it grows on a sheet of chicken. And you know, they're advertised as, oh, but we're safe. We're not actually killing farm-raised chickens. We're not killing. There's no chickens harmed in the making of this food. And then you go to there, and it's a hell of sheets of chicken hanging up on the walls. Upside Food wants you to think that the breakthrough chicken fillets it sells are made from futuristic factory. Ooh, let's find out more. On July 1st, 5 diners sat down at the counter at a Michelin-starred. Yeah, and this is like one of the first restaurants in California, San Francisco, that were greenlit to use this food. So on July 1st, 5 diners sat down at the counter of a Michelin-starred Bar Cren in San Francisco for an unusual meal. They had won a competition to become the first customers in the United States to eat cultivated meat. Real animal cells grown in bioreactors instead of a living animal. For a nominal price of $1, they tucked into 2 pieces of a cultivated chicken fillet made by the California startup Upside Foods, one of the 2 companies cleared to sell cultivated meat in the U.S. I thought it was delicious, said Oscar Minero. One of the other diners said, the taste and the texture was incredible. Before their meal at Bar Cren, Moreno and the rest of the groups toured Upside's production factory across from Bar at Emeryville. They looked at the neat rows of gleaming steel bioreactors. That's awesome. If I ever see gleaming steel bioreactors and I say, "What's in that?" Oh, is that are you trying to make uranium-235? Are you trying to farm uranium-235 in that thing? No, you eat that. No, food comes out of there. That food comes out of that bioreactor. Oh, okay. I guess that's food now. Each one surrounded by a web of pipework. This factory is where Upside says it brews its cultivated chicken. God damn. The thoughts in my head right now that I can't even say to my own family. Christ, they'd turn me in or something. I don't even know. Christ, the thoughts of what I want to do to this factory. Which is tour it and be a really awesome patron to their restaurant. Upside says demonstrates to the world exactly how this novel meat is made. We're starting to show from day one what this whole industry is about. Upside Foods co-founder and CEO Irma Valetti says in May 2022, this is the opposite of very closely guarded food innovations. But former and current employees says that, this is where it gets interesting. The plant tells a misleading story of how Upside's chicken is made. In fact, sources say the company's flagship product, the juicy whole cuts of chicken served at Bar Kren, are brewed almost by hand in tiny bottles. The huge bioreactors, those sources claim, simply aren't capable of reliably brewing the sheets of tissue needed to form into huge cuts of meat, such as chicken fillets. Wow, so that's actually crazy. This is actually crazy. So the whole article is not saying that there's any sort of like mischief going on. They're using real chickens. It's not even fake meat. No. Their thing is saying that the bioreactors aren't the ones making the chicken fillets. It's just made by hand in a test tube. Okay. Moving along. Literally moving along. I'm done with that one. That's actually crazy. That's the whole article. There's more to the article. Go view it for yourself. I really don't care, but all right. Moving along. More homeless. Let's hear it for the homeless. Let's hear it for the boys. Let's hear it for the homeless. Can we get that? Oh shit. Forgot to play that every now and then. Okay, give me a second. Let's hear it for the boys. All right, let's get into it. This is the new song for homeless news. We are going into homeless news now. And I'm not drunk, but I have not drank in a very, very long time. And this one beer has got me tipsy, so this video will get me demonetized, but guess what? I make zero money from YouTube anyways. Maybe he doesn't dress fine, but I don't really mind. Every time he pulls me near, I just want to cheer. Let's hear it for the boy. Let's give the boy a hand. I imagine this song's about a homeless person. Don't dress that fine, but let's give the boy a hand. Every time he pulls me close, give me that toothy grin, that gummy grin. Let's hear it for the boys. Let's hear it for the babies. All right.
Of a full-service bar that was... Well, you may have seen...
Now this is fun. Now this is a fun romp. This is a fun little bit.
A picture like this on social media this week. Denver police say they're looking into reports of a full-service bar that was set up at a homeless encampment. CBS Colorado investigator Brian Most has also been looking into this unusual situation.
Okay, I don't even know how you can say that this is unusual. How can you possibly... And this setup looks pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. They've got an easy boy, a big leather couch, leather couches among some of the most comfortable couches out there. I guarantee you this has 3 different cushions as well. Those are the best because they each have a perfect firmness. So you got a big leather couch, a lazy boy, a rocking chair, a cooler. Someone has a nice cooler out there. And across from this, you have 4 tents, and it looks like a bookshelf full of alcohol. This is what I'm calling maybe the best setup of all time. Someone got some AstroTurf to lay down as well. This is sick. This is badass. People ask what men want. Men want this. Men want a girl with blonde hair, huge tits. No, men want this. Men want to be on the side of the road on AstroTurf in a big lazy boy with a free bar.
On Monday, Denver police and city support services were at the corner of 23rd and Champa after they said they received numerous complaints about this encampment.
People couldn't access. They would, on this side of the street, would actually have to walk in the street to get from one end of the block to the other.
But DPD Patrol Chief Aaron Sanchez says that wasn't the only issue here. With stacks of liquor bottles and turf flooring, police were looking into concerns this was an open-air sidewalk bar for the homeless. You see it sort of almost looking like a speakeasy bar. What was going on here with all that?
We don't know. We have heard the complaints, and we've
complaints.
Are
Who would
conducting
complain?
investigations.
The encampment featured a liquor display.
You see the way that he said we're conducting investigations? That means he's drinking all the alcohol.
What's going on here with all that?
We don't know. We have heard the complaints, and we are conducting investigations.
Yeah, that means that they're drinking all the yeah.
The encampment featured a liquor display, recliners, couches, and we saw dozens of empties.
We're hearing that there was an open bar, sales of alcohol and things like that. So we do have officers that are looking into that.
Sanchez said there had also been complaints about prostitution, that the tents and couches were being rented out. Advocates for the homeless say drugs and alcohol cause the majority of homeless deaths.
And they say capitalism is dead. Free market capitalism. This guy has a open bar and open air prostitution pimp strip club. Excuse me. You see criminal, I see entrepreneur.
And a street corner bar would likely aggravate the problem. I'm Brian Moss, covering Colorado First.
Police.
I'm Brian Moss, and I will be viewing this bar later. Yo, and I guarantee you some cool hipsters showed up and they're like, yo, apparently there's like this new bar or something that just opened up. It's supposed to be really cool. It's like an open air concept. They've got like tents and stuff. They got AstroTurf. It's super chic and cool. And then they show up and it's just like gummy homeless people banging hookers on couches. It's like, dude, where did you take us? Sorry. It sounded really cool. It sounded hip. I heard someone talking about it. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to TikTok time. TikTok time. Alrighty, let's get into TikToks. Here we go. What TikToks do we have today? We have the meats. God damn, this is like a lot. Okay, here we go. Donald Trump. I saw this video of Donald Trump and I think that really,
Hey, by the way, whose car?
if you ask me right now who I'm going to vote for, first I'm going to say RFK Jr. because that guy is based out of his mind. That guy's the most based president I've ever seen in my life, possibly. That guy could kill someone, I'd still vote for him. I'm not going to lie. RFK Jr. all the way. Second person, if you asked, it's between, imagine a world for a second where it's between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Imagine that fantasy land right now. Donald Trump, who I think gets arrested every other day for like some random crime. He's been arrested for so many crimes at this point that people don't even care anymore. They're like, oh, I guess he's been arrested for another crime. Like, okay, who cares, right? And then it's between him, so Donald Trump, who's been apparently arrested for like 57 crimes or whatever. They're throwing the book at him, right? And Joe Biden, who is actively dying on stage, which is, it might be one of the saddest cases of early onset dementia we've ever seen on display. If you're asking me to choose between one of those two, I'm going to say that the choice is pretty tough, and it's Donald Trump. I'm going to be honest. I think it's pretty tough between those two. At this point, I do not think that the Democrats can afford to run Donald or Joe Biden. I don't think they can afford that. Now, that's only if it's between those two. I'm voting RFK Jr. every time for everything. But if it ever gets between those two, I mean, I can't even in good conscience recommend that Joe Biden work at, a crab shack, right? Taking orders at a Casey's, I wouldn't even trust him to type in my number at a Wawa for my gas. I wouldn't even trust him to put it on the right pump at a gas station. Like, it's almost that bad. And you can say, oh, but Trump's a racist. I'm like, I don't even care. I just want the dude to rest. Don't put him through 4 more years. God, they say choose the worst between two evils. No, I would literally vote for the devil. If it was literally the devil, which some people think it is, and Joe Biden, I would literally vote for the actual Lucifer himself, the fallen angel. I would vote for the fallen angel to keep Joe Biden, send Joe Biden home. Let him be with his family. God knows he needs to spend time with Hunter. Look, this isn't even a political issue. This is about having morals. That guy is trapped. He's trapped. He doesn't want to do this anymore. You can't put him through 4 more years. I don't even see how you can morally vote for him. It seems almost unethical. It seems like elder abuse. It really does. It's kind of sad. It really, like, I'm getting kind of emotional because I saw my grandparents go through that where they wouldn't even recognize my name. And it's like, you cannot do that to someone. Like, let them live the final years of their life in peace. Don't send them into the pit again with the vipers and the people and the whispers and the people whispering in their ear, the questions. Don't send them to that again. Literally vote for anyone else. Whoever is against that, let him be free. If you love him, set him free. If you love him, set him free. That's my spiel on Biden. I'm honestly probably not even going to vote unless Kanye vote. Kanye 2024. Oh God. Okay. But here's a video of Donald Trump that I saw that was pretty funny.
Hey, by the way, whose car is this? Whose is it? I like this car. Is this your car? Yes. Well, you know what? I'm buying it. I need it fast. I'm buying it. You're buying my car?
He's writing a check for her.
Here's a check. Thanks.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, just let me get my kids out of the back.
No, wait a minute. I don't have time for this. These are your kids?
Yeah.
I'm buying them too.
I'm buying them too. That's so funny. That's funny. That's a good bit. Okay, here's RFK Jr. also being the most based individual of all time.
More importantly, there's 3 giant corporations. BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard.
BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Know those and learn those names right now because you will be forced to know them soon when they own. Well, I mean, they already own everything, but when they publicly own everything, when they come out and say, "Oh yeah, we own each other, and we also own controlling percentage of everything else." So enjoy your new 3 overlords,
which own collectively, they own each other, so it's really one giant corporation. But they also own 89% of the S&P 500. They own everything. They've now decided to buy every single family home in America. So if they stay on the current trajectory, they will own.
And this is why RFK will not.
In this country, single family home.
And RFK saying this, these are all true things. And if you hate corporations, vote for RFK. If the RFK, if he survives, it will be a miracle if he survives within the next 10 years. He's going to be getting trailed 100%. They're looking for dirt on him. It's going to come out that he, banged someone. They're going to find someone to say that they were molested or abused by RFK. They're going to discredit him. They're going to try to do the things that he's saying no one wants said, right? No one in control wants said, obviously.
By 2030, they literally are trying to buy everything. and had.
Let me rewind that for a second. He said that BlackRock is on track in the next 6 years to own 60% of all single-family homes.
2030. They literally are trying to buy every single-family home in America. So if they stay on the current trajectory, they will own 60% of the homes in this country, single-family homes, by 2030.
Next 6 years,
they literally
60%.
are trying to buy everything. And the head of it, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, is on the board of the World Economic Forum. And what they've said, we want this great reset, which is you will own nothing and you will be happy. Well, they're on their way to making sure that we don't own anything. So you all probably have heard of people who are about to buy a home, and somebody comes in at the last minute with a cash offer and snatches out of the market.
Right.
And it's usually an LLC with an ambiguous name. But if you trace that up, you'll find it's owned by BlackRock.
Wow.
That's crazy. I actually kind of want to do that. I have access to all the MLS because I'm part of a real estate company, so I might be able to look into that. That's crazy. Let's watch one more. This is actually a pretty fun video. This is the grand opening of a TJ Maxx in Kentucky, a small eastern town in Kentucky, and the whole town popped up. They had the cheerleaders from the high school. The fire department came out. This is opening a TJ Maxx is this much of an event, and this is the kind of stuff that that is nice. Small towns like this celebrating a new company coming into their circle, a new place to shop. So there's probably like 190 people sitting in this line. Maybe 200 people waiting in line to be the first members, to be the first people in on the new TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx in Paintsville is now open.
There's the fire truck. TJ Maxx in Batesville is now open. Woo-hoo! You know, they talked about this in church. Oh, I saw you at the TJ Maxx. Oh, isn't that store so cute? Isn't that store so cute? I got this top there. I know, it's so cute. It comes down with it has the little swirls on the bottom. Oh my gosh. I saw it and I said, I just have to have it. Oh, Rebecca, you know, I sat in that line for so long, and I was so happy when they had the girls dancing, and it reminded me of when I was in school. The fire department came out. It was like I was back in 1980. It's a huge event. Oh, she's giving out free TJ Maxx bags. Water bottle. Holy shit. Getting that swag. This is a pretty nice store too. Look at that. They've got nice lighting. Brand new carts. Listen to how smooth those carts are too. And then you look at the items and you realize this is just every single TJ Maxx you've ever had the blessing of being in, and kind of lazily moseying about from aisle to aisle, looking at the concoction of shit that they have sprawled. What is a TJ Maxx? I honestly don't know what they sell. Like, do they sell clothes? Do they sell tchotchkes? Do they sell artwork? For some reason, they have a whole department for just like artwork. Do they sell giant 50,000-foot rugs that are like hanging from the ceiling? Is that what they're? I honestly don't know. Furniture? What are they? What are they? I'm not too sure. Mugs, kitchenware. Like, it's just a little bit of everything. It's like a Dollar Tree to the max. It's actually crazy. And nice. Spent $179 look at that guy's face. Oh, Christ. Look at this guy's face. That's the face of a man who just spent 4 hours inside of a TJ Maxx with his wife. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I actually really enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please share it with a friend, or at least tell them to give it a listen, to try it out. If they don't make it through, I mean, I don't know. If this doesn't do it for them, I don't know what will. Maybe I just need to scream it today. If you make it through all the way through to the episode, I'll have an epic prize. You won't believe the last TikTok I play. You know, maybe I need to do that in the beginning to like trick these people into staying till the end. But no, thank you a lot for everyone who watches. It really does mean a lot. I love doing these things. It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. I get to talk. I get to rant. I get to get things off my chest. It's fun, and I enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, that means that much more to me. So, if you enjoyed it, please share with a friend. If you know someone who's a wage slave and also hates their life, share it with them and let them know that they're not alone. And if they have any thoughts, comments, if you have any thoughts, comments, or concern, put it in the description below. You can email me directly. My email's theafromatshow@gmail.com. Send me an email. If you have any videos or something, TikTok, send me those too. I love it all. So that being said, thank you for listening. Goodbye.